Hello guys, back to the class. This is yours JK. Today we are going to discuss about another important topic regarding to IC engine. In the previous lecture, we are already completed what are the major parts involved in IC engines and their functions. So let's start with the working of the IC engines. So before this one, it's better to discuss about some basic definitions regarding to this topic. First one is the cylinder bore. The inside diameter of the engine cylinder. So if you find out here, the inside diameter of the engine cylinder is called cylinder bore or maybe bore. It is measured in mm condition. The inside diameter cylinder is called cylinder bore or bore. It is measured in mm condition. And go to the next definition, that is the TDC and BDC. The TDC is here short form for top dead center, and BDC is the short form for bottom dead center. So let's see what is the TDC. If you find out the arrangement of a cylinder, the top portion of the engine cylinder, which is nearest to the cylinder cover, is defined as top dead center. And what about the bottom dead center? The portion which is nearest to the crankshaft at the bottom condition is defined bottom dead center. In case of horizontal engine, they are defined like IDC, inner dead center, and outer dead centers. So this is about the TDC and BDC. And next we are going to discuss about another important definition, that is the stroke. So let's see what is the stroke. The distance between top dead center to bottom dead center is defined stroke of the piston or maybe simply stroke. The distance between TDC to BDC is simply defined as stroke of the piston or maybe stroke. So these are the definitions are helpful to learn the working of IC engine. When we discuss about the working of IC engine, in that working some important processes are helpful to complete the engine working cycle. So let's see what are the important processes are involved here. So we already know what is the cyclic process or what is the definition of cycle. Cyclic operation. Our first process is section process. In that section process, the fuel vapor is entered into the engine cylinder. At that time, what is the position of inlet and outlet valve? and as well as the piston position. So let's start with the first one. Position of inlet valve. At this process, inlet valve is open condition and outlet valve is closed condition. Then what about the piston position here? The piston at starting of the stroke, it is in TDC condition, and at the end of the stroke, piston reaches to from TDC to BDC. That means piston moves from TDC to BDC. When the piston reaches to BDC, the all over space of the engine cylinder is occupied by fuel vapor. So this is about the section stroke. And go to the next one. After completion of this section stroke or section process, the next process is compression process. Let's see what happened in this process. After completion of section process, piston reaches to BDC. The all over the engine cylinder is occupied by fuel vapor. When the compression process, the piston starts moving from BDC to TDC. At this time, what is the fuel vapor is occupied is completely compressed very well due to the piston moves from BDC to DDC. At this condition, a compression takes place. In this process, what about the valve condition? In this process, both inlet and outlet valves are closed here. Both inlet and outlet valves are closed here. When the two valves are closed condition, we get the maximum compressibility here. Okay. Then what about the piston position here? At the starting of this process, piston in the position of BDC. After completion of this compression process, piston reaches to TDC. That means end of this process, piston reaches to TDC. So these are the process. It is the second process in the engine cyclic operation. Go to the next process. After completion of compression process, the next process is power or expansion process. It is the third process, power or expansion process. So let's see. If you find out the name of that process, power or expansion process, due to the expansion of piston, here power will be developed. We have already discussed after completion of compression stroke, piston reaches to TDC condition and this area is occupied by compressed fuel vapor. So when the power or expansion stroke is started, then from the spark plug or maybe fuel injector, in case of spark plug, spark is added to fuel vapor compressor, and in case of fuel injector, with the help of fuel injector, fuel is sprayed into the engine cylinder. We have discussed the difference after completion of this concept, why we are using spark plug and why we are using the fuel injector. Okay, so due to the addition of spark or maybe fuel spray, the compressed fuel vapor will be burned here. So due to the burning of compressed fuel vapor, a high pressure, that means sudden pressure, will be raised inside the engine cylinder. So due to that pressure, that force is hit at the piston. When the force is hit to the piston, piston starts moving very quickly from DDC to BDC. That process is happen in power or expansion stroke. So what about the inlet and outlet valves condition here? Here also both inlet and outlet valves are closed condition. Then what about the piston position. Starting of the stroke, piston at TDC condition, and end of the stroke, piston reaches to BDC condition. So this is about the power or expansion stroke. Go to the next stroke or next process, that is the exhaust process. It is the final process in this cycle. This is the fourth and final process here. Exhaust process. So what happened in this process? After completion of fuel vapor burning, some amount of waste gases or maybe combustion product will be generated inside the engine cylinder. So that waste gases will be exit from the outlet valve in the exhaust process or exhaust stroke. In this condition, what about the valve position here? Inlet valve is in the closed position and outlet valve is open position. In case of inlet valve is open here, what happen here? The burnt gases or maybe waste gases will be enter into the inlet valve. They are reaches to fuel tank. At that time, when the burnt gases will mix it with the fuel, automatically the blast or maybe combustion will be takes place. Due to that, engine will be damaged here. So that's why in this process, inlet valve in closed condition and outlet valve will be open. Then what about the piston position? Starting of the stroke, piston at BDC, and end of the stroke, piston reaches to TDC. When the piston reaches to TDC, automatically what is the occupied combustion product or maybe waste gases will be completely exit from exhaust valve. So due to that one, again it have a possibility to refill with the fresh air. So these are the working process are involved in the IC engines. If you find out here what we have discussed the working process here, it is completely applicable for gas or petrol engine. In case of diesel engine, at the time of section process, only fresh air is enter into the engine cylinder, and after completion of compression process, with the help of fuel injector, we are adding the fuel spray. So due to that addition of fuel spray and already a very well compressed air inside the engine cylinder, so due to that compression and fuel spray is added to the compressed air, combustion takes place in diesel engines. So this is about the working process of IC engines. Based on this working process, we are already discussed engines are divided into two types. For one is the two-stroke engine and another one is the four-stroke engine. In case of two-stroke engine, the four process will be completed in two different manners. That means first two process, they are section and compression are completed, and the next stroke power and exhaust strokes are completed in two-stroke engine. In case of four-stroke engine, the four working process will be developed like a section. After completion of that, compression, power or expansion, and finally exhaust process are developed in the four-stroke engine. So this is about that a two-stroke and four-stroke engine. And in case of two-stroke engine, the crankshaft revolves two complete revolutions, and in case of four-stroke engine, after completion of this four process, crankshaft revolutes only one revolution. This is about the working or a sequence of operations developed in the IC engines. In the next class, we are going to discuss about further concepts regarding to IC engines. Thank you.
If you have any queries regarding this lecture, please comment in comment box, and thank you for your watching.